Welcome back to the Karsch and Anderson program. Good afternoon, everybody. Gator along with Stoney. Stoney's in for Doug today. Got Kang and Kenny behind the glass taking your calls and texts. 248-539-9797. Got a fun night tonight. It's finally here, the Michigan State game. I always think that this is kind of like the point in the schedule where people in the state really start to pay attention to college basketball.
Once football's over?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Usually
left.
get into the Big Ten schedule in January, and it's great to know that they're going to play each other twice this year. In years past, we've seen the only one game. Like, why is it only one? Come on, these two teams need to play each other every year, twice a year.
Michigan should be playing Michigan State twice every year more than they should be playing Ohio State twice.
In basketball.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you don't
Because
play
you don't
anybody
get to do it
twice
in
in
football. Well, you can with the playoff, but
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's the rivalry for Michigan in basketball is Michigan State. The rivalry for Michigan State in basketball is Michigan. There's no question about it. And this year, the game is perhaps even more special because where they're ranked. Michigan, the third-ranked team in the AP. Michigan State is number 7. Michigan's 18-1 on the year. Michigan State is, 19-1 on the year. Michigan State is 19-2 on the year. It's a big game. Play tonight in East Lansing, 8 o'clock tip. It's a tight game. Michigan's favored by 1.5 last I checked.
Yep. I just checked the totals, 147.5. Because, in watching these teams play, at times they both, and this happens to a lot of college teams, but we focus on the ones we watch all the time.
Yep.
At times they'll both go through these stretches where they don't score for 3 or 4 minutes. So especially in this game where the defenses that both teams possess are really, really good. So I was looking at the under, but I don't know, 75 each at least would be over. So
well, the thing is, you can talk yourself into anything, right?
Of course.
Yeah, it's just how it is. And basketball is a crazy game because, it's a game of runs and streaks and turnovers and all that. And I've seen plenty of Michigan State game where they'll go, as you mentioned, 5 minutes without making a field goal, or hey, this is the game that they're turning the ball over at an extraordinary rate, or they're not making their free throws. And with Michigan, they were such a buzzsaw to start the season, and now things have gotten a little tighter. They're playing some better competition. They trailed for most of the game against Nebraska, but came back to win it 75-72. Ohio State gave them a game. It was a 10-point game. This is they've faced some tougher competition recently.
Yeah, and
even when they lost to Wisconsin.
Yeah, and they played an awful game at Penn State. They almost lost to.
Yeah. So, but when I say that, I feel like this is the time we start to pay attention because it really is. We all know that college basketball, it's all about the tournament. It's all about the NCAA tournament.
Correct.
And can you get to? And we've talked about it on the show before. It's strange that the sport of college basketball, we celebrate making it to the semifinals more than anything else.
Yes.
You get a Final Four appearance. Oh, my God, look how good we are. They're Final Four. When every other sport, it's like, yeah, did you win? No, we got to the Final Four.
It's weird because I always say, the Pistons, when they made their run, they made 6 straight Final Four runs. People are like, what are you talking about? Yeah, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 years in a row. It sounds different than went to 6 straight Final Fours.
Yes. Well, yeah, and right. And I guess this is why it matters in college basketball because you've got 300 and something schools that are playing and competing.
And the Final Four is in one location.
Yep, you got all that. But with this game taking place here at the end of January, on January 30th tonight, I feel like now we can finally start to concentrate a little bit on the college basketball season. And after tonight, will we still be concentrating on that, or will we wait till the end of the month when Michigan State battle again, the last game of the regular season in the Big Ten? Then you've got the Big Ten tournament and then the big tournament. Both of these teams obviously will make the NCAA tournament. Both of these teams are constructed very well, but also very differently.
Yes.
Which I think is really interesting to see the contrast of how these teams are made up.
Right.
Michigan State's a team that is recruited and developed over time, and these guys have stayed with the program, and here you go. Michigan's a program that has leaned heavily on the transfer portal.
I think
they got a new coach.
Well, they have one player besides the freshman McKenna, who have been through, other schools, and that would be Will Sheddard, right?
I think you're right. And
because even Namari Burnett, who came back, he was a transfer from Alabama, I believe.
But you would expect it to be this way with having a brand new coach as a couple of years ago, and you take over, you're going to go hit the portal hard or whatever. But Dusty May's done an amazing job with Michigan. Tom Izzo obviously has the consistency of being there forever. Has done an amazing job at Michigan State. It's an interesting contrast in the way that these teams have been built, and they're both very good teams, and they both play a different style of basketball. Well, the one thing they both play is defense. Looking at this game. And I'm finally, as a fan of college sports, I'm going to get excited about this one tonight. I can't wait to see it. Got a bunch of friends that we're trying to figure out what we're going to do, although I don't know if plans have been torpedoed or not. But we're looking at it to get together. And this is one of those games I think you do like to get together. It's a rivalry game, but I feel more so than football. I think you can get together with fans from the other side and watch this one and enjoy it as opposed to a football game when it comes to Michigan State.
There's a few reasons for that. Number one is because they'll play again.
Yeah.
As far as this game goes. And number two is that they might play again in the tournament in the Big Ten tournament. Yep. And there's a off chance they could play in the NCAA tournament. The football, because Michigan football is, how do I put this gingerly? And I'm a Michigan fan. When it comes to football, Michigan is so arrogant when it comes to football, and Michigan State, rightfully or wrongfully, always feels short-shrifted that the hate builds up more in football. And that's also because football is a more popular sport, especially in this town, this area. And that's why the football game means a lot more to most people.
But curious, how many fans are just now, because of this game tonight, going to get into college basketball? Like if you waited for this moment, for this game in particular, the Michigan State game, before it finally registers on your dial, so to speak, that, you know what? We got college basketball tonight. This is actually something worth watching. And I'm glad it's on a Friday night.
Yes.
As opposed to a random Tuesday night in the middle of winter. I think Friday night makes it more special, too. It's prime time at 8 o'clock. It's not like this is some 6:30 tip. This is going to be exciting, and I think it's going to be fun. But 248-539-9797 is the telephone number. Same number to text if you want to express your opinion that way. Now, how many fans are just tuning in now to college hoops because of this game? Is this the point where you start to really pay attention? I know there's diehards that, of course, from day one, they're going to watch college basketball. But I think, by and large, when you talk about the massive number of people that tune in for the NCAA tournament, at some point during the season, there's that point where you're just like, I got to start paying attention. And I think this is that point.
Yeah, they pay attention, but the massive numbers for even the Final Four are not what they even are close to for the college football playoff or even some huge regular season games.
Well, it's not, the basketball is not as popular as football.
No.
I don't think there's any question about that. But 248-539-9797 is the telephone number. Which team is better suited to make a tournament run the way that they're constructed right now? Everybody always says, when you talk about the tournament, well, you got to have great guard play to make a run in the tournament. Michigan State's gotten great guard play.
Lately they have, absolutely. Fears has been tremendous the last week or so, 2 weeks or so. Michigan's guard play is not great. Their best players are their big guys. And Michigan State's big guys have definitely been better than many people expected with Cooper and Kohler.
Yeah, they both played very well this year. But the top three scorers for Michigan happen to be two forwards and a center.
Yes.
They get it done up front. All three of those guys, they rebound the basketball. I mean, these are some of the similarities. Is Michigan prides themselves on rebounding the basketball. So does Michigan State. When it comes to guard play, though, I'd say Michigan State has the edge. Mm-hmm. This is why this game is such an even game to look at. This could just be a fun one to sit back and watch and see if it's this back and forth game, or is someone going to get on a run and start to dominate? Does this game have potential for a blowout in either way? And if it does, which team has the chance to pull the other one out?
I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be a blowout because, look, on paper, I think Michigan's a little better. They're playing the game at the Breslin Center. There's no way the Spartans are getting blown out at home. There's just no way, barring something crazy, in my opinion.
I tend to agree with that. The only teams that I've seen walk in, well, I shouldn't say the only teams, the teams that stand out in my mind that have walked into Breslin Center and blown out Michigan State, I remember distinctly a Duke team that came in one year, 20 years ago or whatever it was, and just they could not miss from three-point. They just kept knocking down three-pointer after three-pointer. And I don't think Michigan's team is constructed that way.
Their best guard is, he's good. And that's the matchup, Cadeau against Fears is going to be a pretty good matchup, but I don't look at Cadeau as being a great outside shooter. In fact, I mean, I don't know
he shot well this year, 41% from three, but he's also a guy who only averages 10 points a game.
Correct. And Barnett, if he's on, he's really good from three, but he's been very inconsistent.
And Michigan State has had inconsistency from three-point land as well.
These are not your typical 20s three-point shooting teams that we've seen, like you mentioned Nebraska earlier.
248-539-9797. Same number to text us as well. Michigan and Michigan State tonight at the Breslin Center in East Lansing. Are you geared up for this game? Is this the time that you start to tune into college basketball because of this game? We got a game where you got two top 10 teams ranked playing each other. This is the highest both teams have been ranked ever when they have faced each other in the regular season. This is going to be a fun one. How do you see it playing out? Call your shot. Who's going to win? And which team do you think is better suited to make a long playoff run, I should say, a tournament run when it comes to the NCAA tournament in March? This is 97.1.